Sure. Yeah, so before I share my screen, I'm just going to give a quick kind of like how my team found the feature. It's kind of a funny story. We're accidental early adopters. And basically, we adopted Sentry Cloud, and I was looking through the dashboards and saw that there were some kind of hints around session health and other things, but weren't active. So dug into the docs, saw it was available on the mobile SDK. It's kind of, this is interesting. It's not there for JavaScript yet. So I went to their GitHub JavaScript repo for the Sentry JavaScript and dug through their releases and commits until I found that variable that Neil just shared and enabled it. And we started getting Sentry data a bit before the official release, or session data, excuse me, which was pretty fun. And it's been very useful for our team to get a quick idea of how a given release is doing in the context that, like, yeah, you might see a spike, but is it affecting 1% or 20% of users, and being able to prioritize that. So I'll share my screen really quick. Cool. So this is the releases page for that team, for the app that my team owns, which is the search, browse, and homepage for eventbrite.com. And I kind of jumped into that. So I'm like I mentioned before, a senior software engineer at Eventbrite, and we own this given app. So like we release a fair amount. We even released earlier today. We're all about trying to move towards more and smaller releases just to be able to identify issues faster. And so let's dig into this one because it has some interesting data. And when this went out, I was looking and you can see there's a spike here. And I was like, oh crap, that's actually a decent amount of that's a decent amount of errors that pop up. Let's see, just in the grand scheme of things, what's the priority for this? Oh, okay, it's only about, I don't know, 6% of users saw this spike. And you can also drop down and see crash free rate to get a clear idea of what percentage. And that kind of gave me an idea of what the priority should be. It also resolved itself pretty quickly and gives me a clue into maybe this was triggered from a back end and we need to do some better error handling on our front end. So just from this view, I can gather that much information about what the next action should be to address these spikes in the future. And yeah, so then usually when I see something like this, I'll grab the spike, open it in Discover, sort by count, and 9 times out of 10, you'll see what that is. So yeah, we have this unknown error with 11K instances, clearly the main issue, and is something that our team has on our roadmap to address and look at for a future release. So that's just kind of a quick overview of how our team managing homepage search and browse experiences has been able to leverage this functionality to prioritize bugs and identify how well it is being experienced by our actual end users. Yeah, so I think that's like kind of a quick run through of how we found the feature, how our team's been adopting it into our workflow, and we have a lot more future plans to leverage it even in a larger fashion as we move forward. But yeah, so I think that's about it for the overview on my end.